Hey guys, so welcome back to today's video, and this is the, I believe, third or fourth video for the Supra build series. So since the last video, things have changed here. We actually were able to get some new fenders, so those came in because the other ones were a little bit dinged up right here. The headlights got restored. As you can see, they look like brand new now, so it's nice and smooth. We're gonna get a nice layer of 3M on there to protect it from getting faded again, so that's nice. So we got both left and right front fenders, no damage on them or anything, so which is surprising me because the way that these were shipped, definitely a miracle that there was no dings or bends or anything. So basically everything I have right now is just held in by one bolt. So the fenders are just held in by one bolt. I removed the wing, got it ready. So I'm basically just getting everything ready for paint. The rear bumper is held on by one clip right here. Guys that are doing it easily just have one bolt to take off for when they're painting it. It makes it way easier instead of them trying to find out what bolts are holding what on, and just makes the process a lot easier. I'll leave the inner fenders out of it too as well. That's all stuff that they would remove anyways. But today we're actually going to be installing a big brake kit. So this is these have the naturally aspirated brakes on them here, as you can see. It does not look very good at all. So we're gonna get rid of all this and put some brand new stuff on. What I'm doing with this build is I'm doing like an OEM plus build. So a lot of stuff that I'm replacing on this is mostly OEMs. So we got rear brakes as well. We're gonna be putting those on. That's what today's video is mostly gonna focus on, is doing that. So stick along for the process. So it was actually it was okay. I couldn't find any front and rear brakes rotors for the kit that I actually have here. So it was a hard time trying to find that, but I think I've got the right ones. I got fronts and rears. That being said, these being a little bit bigger, we're gonna have to do the same thing that we did with the G35. Cut this lip around here because the rotor's actually gonna be a lot bigger. So we're just gonna have to cut the lip off, or else otherwise it'll hit here. So you'll see the whole process here and what we do with it once we unbox everything. But the bottom box is the calipers. So we got front rear calipers, and then the two top boxes are the rotors. The pads are on their way here, so they'll be in probably in the next couple of days, I would hope so. Then we can just slap them in there and we should be good. The difference that this is gonna make is gonna be huge. Also, I forgot to tell you guys that there is a set of wheels over there for this car as well. So all this is gonna tie in nicely. I've got the front bumper and the side skirts coming. They're still in the mail. Hopefully they get here soon. So that's the only thing I'm waiting on before I put it into paint, is the side skirts and the front bumper. The paint isn't terrible on this car, as you can see, but it needs to be refreshed. So I've wanted to give the whole thing, you know, a respray. Like the mirrors have lost their clear coat on them. So it's an old car. It's been sitting in the sun. So we're gonna get the whole thing refreshed, and we're gonna get it looking real good.
Really nice.
We're gonna stay with the same color so we don't have to get the jams and stuff painted and everything else, so it saves a lot of time as well. And I wanted to leave this color because I don't mind it. It's brighter than the rest of the cars. So we're gonna raise the car up, get these old crap brakes off here, and start putting on the new stuff. Now that I've cut that ridge off there, as you've seen that I was doing, I'm going to go ahead and test fit a rotor and see if there's any more material that I have to take off in certain areas. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty good here. There's maybe one little area down at the bottom that I can bend down a little bit and make some room, but other than that, I think that's it for cutting. A little trick that I like to do to keep the rotor kind of flat up against the hub there, keep it from falling, because that's very annoying when you're trying to line up the caliper on the other side of the pad and stuff. Just take a washer or a nut like this or something to space it out, put it around there, then you grab your wheel nut and you put it on here like this. I'm going to wind this in like that, and then it's going to basically hold the rotor on there without getting in the way, without putting a wheel on or putting the wheel nuts all the way on. So that'll hold it there, spins freely, it's not rubbing anything, so we're good to start putting on the calipers. Alright, so let's unbox the calipers here. So I was actually able to find a set of brand new OEM Toyota Supra turbo brakes for this. So that's what's inside these boxes here. It's kind of cool. You get like parts in a brand new box like this for an old car like this, which is kind of sweet. I paid enough for these, so I hope they work out for me. In my opinion, like I said, I'm doing an OEM plus build with this. These are gonna do just fine for the trick that I need. Definitely an upgrade in size compared to what's on there already now. So here is the front caliper. As you can see, the labels haven't even been torn off of this yet. So these will say Supra underneath them. So like I said, these haven't even opened yet, which is sweet. This is the OEM Plus kind of that I'm going for here with this car. That'll definitely be an upgrade compared to the stock setup. As you can see the difference here. The size difference is much, much bigger. So let's go ahead and put these on. I have the caliper all mounted up here. Just gonna give it a spin, make sure it's not touching anything. Looks like we're good in that sense, everything clears. So that's good. Now the only thing that I have to do is transfer this line over to the new caliper, and then we can get rid of this old caliper right here. I'm gonna do one corner at a time, and that way it loses less brake fluid as I can. And then once I'm done with all of them, I can grab my vacuum bleeder, which I'll show you guys in a bit there. It makes things very easy, and I'll bleed all the brakes afterwards. Now there's either two ways you can do this with bleeding brakes. You can gravity feed them, is what it is you crack the bleeder screw, and then you eventually will have the fluid fill the caliper up and it will start leaking out of the bleeder screw, or you can use a vacuum bleeder. If you guys ever get yourself a chance to grab one of these are very, very handy. They come with a bunch of different attachments. You hook up your airline here, it creates a vacuum inside here, and then it can collect all fluid, or you can suck out coolant, you can suck out oil, you can suck out hard areas to get, or in my case, I'm using this to bleed the brakes here. As you can see, there's a fitting on the end of it there, and that will go on the bleeder screw. Nice and clean, and then you put this over to the top, to the vacuum chamber there, plug it in, and it will start sucking through, and you'll be able to see the air bubbles come through the clear line here. So super handy if you don't want to make a mess, or if you're bleeding brakes alone. If you don't have somebody in there pumping the brakes, this makes things a lot easier. Also, you can bleed clutches with it too. Okay, so now that this caliper is bled there, you've seen kind of the air getting pulled through the tube there. We can go ahead and peel this sticker off here. There, that's nice and fresh. That looks so much better now. Way better than the last crustiness that was on there. Everything's moving freely. It's perfect. That already makes the car look a lot better. Everything's brand new, nice and fresh. That's what I like. So now to get started on all the rest of the corners. So mostly be the same procedure as that. So I'm gonna run a little bit of a time lapse of me doing the rest of that stuff, then we'll catch up with you guys at the end of it. So a little bit more trimming involved with the back end of this. Not a big deal. Once I have all this set up here, I obviously see me cleaning it and everything. I'm going to touch up the edges here so they're not exposed bare metal, so it matches the rest of it. But we should be able to clear the rotor now. Nothing touches, so that's what you want. That's how you want it laid out. Clean up all around here with the wire wheel, and then when you get the caliper put on. Everything's lined up here. I adjusted the e-brake because you have to back it off to get the old stuff off. So I adjusted it back on there, nice and free. It's just right at the grabbing point there, so I've adjusted it so the e-brake's not too high or too low. It's kind of right in the middle, so we're good there. That's what this little plug's for here. Pull that out and you can see a little star in there, and it adjusts and expands the E-shoes that are inside the drum here. Again, as you can see, night and day difference with the new stuff in here. Everything looks really, really good. Same with the front there. It just changes the vehicle 100%.
This is RavenBeats.
everything tidies up really nice in the wheel wells, and it'll look even better once we get those wheels that I'm gonna get put on there in the next video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're waiting on side skirts and the front bumper, and then this thing's gonna start somewhat looking like it's a complete car now. Be nice to see it on the ground with some new wheels and stuff on it. It changes the car completely. But everything went fairly smoothly with this. All this I got cleaned up with the wire wheel. So next thing too as well, we need to get some coilovers for this thing because these are all clapped out here. So that'll look really nice once we get some new coilovers in there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of this on the other side. You guys get the idea of what we're doing here. Same thing goes for the other side in case you're doing this yourself. But while the wheels are off here too as well, I'm gonna take some time to clean up some of this dirt on top of these arms here. You can see there's actually some nice black paint underneath there. So get that all cleaned up. I'm gonna continue to do the other side, get all these done, and we're gonna bleed all the brakes. All right, so I just finished up the other side of the brakes here. Figured I wouldn't film this side just because it's the same thing as the other side. Everything's all done here. Like I said, we gotta get rid of these junky coilovers that are in there right now, or the stock suspension. Starting to actually look a lot better now. In my opinion, it looks so much more clean. I already had test fit one of the wheels on to make sure the brakes would clear and everything, and they do. So these are actually a fair decent size for the year of the car. Like these would have been on the turbo version like I was saying, but they're actually pretty big size, so I'm quite impressed with that. I won't really shouldn't have to go any bigger than that unless we're doing like 1200 horse with this thing or whatever, but I don't think that's the goal right away. So if we have to change them eventually, then we will. I think those would do just fine for what I'm going to be doing with this car. So like I said, main goal is getting this thing looking really good first, and then we're gonna start doing some really good power mods. And obviously we're probably gonna swap the engine, put it to a VVTi engine in it, so a big single turbo on it. Main things first is getting this thing looking really good. Then I can start tinkering with power and pulling the engine out and doing all that sorts of stuff. So, but in the meantime, it's actually starting to look pretty good. Starting to kind of get a vision of what's going on. Still waiting on the wing and the side skirts and the bumper. And once those show up, I'll have a video up of that as well, and kind of placing everything on there. And another thing that you guys should probably do for your garage here is that if you have a big open space like we have here with the walls, there's not really much on them, and I would like to put a few things here and there. I do have a banner hanging up over there. We got these on Amazon here. It's like a canvas. So we're gonna put this up, I think, either on that wall or this wall here. We're not sure exactly where we're gonna put it, but we're doing a little garage mod today. So watch us put them up and put them up straight, or I don't know, maybe they'll be out crooked. We'll see when we get done, but we use a level. But like I said, I want to put a few more things. It's a little too plain in here. We got the long walls, so we might as well use them. Yeah, like I said, we got the canvases off of Amazon. We originally ordered them thinking that the frames were attached to them, but Doss actually made these frames himself because it just came with the material, so which was fine. It just took a little bit more time to do that and make your own frames, but still works out the same way. So you'll see exactly what I mean and how this is going to look when it's all together there, and you'll see, you can kind of get a hint on what some of the cars are in there. So we're going to go ahead and try and hang them. So we decided to relocate the Serial 9 banner over to this side. I think this is an appropriate spot to put this canvas here, so we're going to hang this thing up and see how it looks when it's done. So Dawson just had to peel out there. He came and helped me hang them up, and like I said, he made those frames. But this looks awesome in here. Never mind the green tape for now, because we're gonna put some double-sided tape underneath of it just to keep them from swinging around and stuff like that. But once we have the backs double-sided tape to the wall, you got all the screws all at nice height. But look at that, that's an awesome picture. So you get all the JDM legends that are out there. Like you got the R34, you got the NSX, and you got the Supra. So that's pretty sweet. I think it looks great on the wall there. Nice little gap between everything. So now I'm going to hang the Serial 9 over on that side. So thought that looked pretty good if you're kind of looking at, this is where I spend most of my time in this area anyway. So if you're looking at it like this, all the stuff that you need right here, you get the nice canvases, and then like I said, I'll put the Serial 9 banner over there, and then I'll get another canvas for over here, and then I'm not sure what to do with this wall yet, but this one's just got the whiteboard on it for now. But that looks sweet. Very happy with how that turned out. That's just gonna be it for today's video. I figured I'd just throw this in here, a little garage mod on top of what we were doing today with the brakes. Keep staying tuned, guys. I appreciate all the subscribers and stuff that are coming in. It's pretty cool. We're almost at 700. That's pretty sweet. I can promise you that the Supra content will be entertaining, definitely. It might be a little bit of a slower start to it, but I can promise you when we get to that point with all the power to it and everything, it'll be good content. So stick around for that. Peace, guys.